Them motherfuckers is ready or what? Is that motherfuckers ready or what? I don't think you are. I don't think so. They got my back against the building. I'm the building that's creeping around corners. Like shorty, you see them niggas creeping around corners. And we coming through, gunning through, running through. So be careful what you do.
Welcome to another edition of the Movie Blood Fight Show. I'm your host, Dave Winnis. Okay, before I get into what I'm going to be talking about today, I want to mention a new website, a boxing website that is called puncherliver.com. Okay, and what they're offering, if you subscribe to their website, where they give them, it's a boxing forum, it's boxing news. You know, they have predictions, fantasy boxing on there. It's a really great site. You got to check it out. Anyways, if you do go on and log in there, what they're offering is if you make 3 picks of the upcoming bouts, Klitschko versus Peters, Tarver versus Dawson, and Bernard Hopkins versus Pavlik. What they'll do is if you get them all right, they will give you 1 year free subscription to Ring Magazine. It's a really good deal. Check it out. Once again, it's liverpuncher.com. Okay, let's talk about the bouts that are coming up this weekend. Vitaly Klitschko versus Samuel Peters. Awesome Chad Dawson versus Antonio Tarver, the legend killer. All right, let's first get into Dawson versus Tarver. Now, this is really about an old lion versus a young lion. Okay, realistically, if Chad Dawson or Antonio Tarver win this bout between each other, where do they go from here? You think Roy Jones or Joe Calzaghe is going to actually say, okay, I'll give you a match, you know, because you guys beat each other? That's probably not going to happen. You know, the sad part about it is they win this bout. They doesn't go anywhere further than that. Just at the fact that either Antonio Tarver beat a guy that was, you know, an upcomer, somebody that everybody was saying that he's the future of the light heavyweight division. And if Dawson defeats Antonio Tarver, he beats a guy that was just trying to redeem himself and really get himself back in the whole light heavyweight division once again, and try to make call out some bigger names that were out there waiting for him. Okay, so that all being said, who do you like on this particular bout? Well, Antonio Tarver having great power in his left hand, and really he's been able to get himself out of situations, but has he looked up the norm of what he used to be? No. You know, ever since Antonio Tarver defeated Roy Jones, you know, he went off and did this movie with Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, came back and lost the linear light heavyweight division to Bernard Hopkins, right? Then after that, you know, he just kind of came back and he really hasn't looked like, you know what, he's got it anymore. He may be hungry, but being hungry and able to show the skills in the ring are two different things, you know what I'm saying? So, what can he really do against the much younger, quicker, and possibly stronger, awesome Chad Dawson? Okay, now Chad getting off of his win off of Glenn the Road Warrior Johnson wasn't that spectacular and great also. You know, there was a lot of questions left in that particular night when he had got that victory over Johnson. So, is he going to do the same exact thing he did against Glenn Johnson? Was a safe first tactic to get the sure win? Probably, and that's probably what's going to happen on that particular night with him and Tarver. So, that already being said, I'm going to really make my pick saying that, you know, awesome Chad Dawson gets the win over, you know, Antonio Tarver, unless Antonio Tarver can find some way in him to knock him out. Because I can't really picture Antonio Tarver being the much older and really slowing down fighter try to outbox Dawson. It's just not going to happen. I can't see that happening, unfortunately. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. So anyways, that being said, I say it's going to be a unanimous decision against, you know, for Chad Dawson. He's going to take the win in a very lackluster, boring bout. I don't see it being any excitement out of it. If there is going to be any excitement, it's going to be a knockout from Antonio Tarver. But there's a possibility Chad could catch him too and drop him, but I don't see that. I don't see Chad Dawson gonna go for the kill. He's not built like that. Unfortunately, you see a lot of skills out of Chad, but you don't see the killer instinct that a fighter you would particularly see out of a fighter right away. I don't see that right now. And like I said, he gets the win. Where does he go from there? Unfortunately, probably the best thing for him to do is not wait around and wait for a new upcoming prospect to become a star ahead of him. Is probably go down to the lighter weight division and start looking for bouts in those particular divisions that would probably be better for him if he decided to go down. You know, you got Jermaine Taylor, you got Jeff Lacey, you got you got Kelly Pavlik, you got even Bernard Hopkins will probably even be willing to mix it up with him. But I doubt it. I doubt that about it would happen either. But anyways, that's my pick. Chad Dawson on the unanimous decision. All right, so now let's move on to Vitaly Klitschko versus Samuel Peters. Let's start off with Samuel Peters, okay? The Nightmare, the Nigerian Nightmare, okay? Big heavyweight, big puncher, but chin could be a little bit of a suspect, okay? Remember, he got rocked by Jamil McCline, who was is a big man, not a big punch, okay? And he was able to hurt Peters several times. Also, too, Vladimir Klitschko, the younger brother of Vitaly, and really the more gifted boxer than Vitaly, was able to hurt Peters too, along with himself getting hurt in that bout. But, Peters has shown some new skills walking in the ring. He showed it against James Toney. So, showing that and showing the ability to adjust to a bout, it shows a lot of improvement. But now let's talk about Vitaly Klitschko. It's been how long? Almost, 4-6 years he's been out of the ring? I'm not really positive. But the fact is that, remember this, he didn't leave the ring because he was getting beaten. He left the ring because of injuries to his body, okay? Now, I mentioned that his younger brother is the better boxer, which is true. He is the better boxer. But when it comes to power and aggression, I'm going to have to lean a little bit towards Vitaly, okay? Vitaly is a very aggressive fighter. Yeah, he had his difficulties, in the past. Yeah, he quit on his stool. It was off a shoulder injury. But remember, that's all been erased since when he had faced the Lanier champion, Lennox Lewis. And after Lennox Lewis, he pretty much demolished everybody that was put in front of him. Now, what I like about Vitaly Klitschko is the aggression that he does bring and the power that he does bring, and he is a very good boxer, okay? But the ring rust is one of the most difficult things to shake in a boxer, okay? Being out of the ring for so long, even sparring and all that, it doesn't equal with you walking into the ring and having a real bout. And having a bout with Samuel Peters, okay? A dangerous puncher, a guy that's been brushing up in his skills, a guy that's really focused and hungry about, unifying the whole division. That's a big danger zone for him walking in. Now, to me, really, this is a pick-em fight. It's really hard. It really depends on what you think is going to happen in this bout. Do you think the guy that's been more consistent in the heavyweight division right now and has really improved his boxing skills and has a lot of power, you could probably lean his way and say, yeah, he's going to win. Or you're going to stick to the guy that we once remember, Vitaly Klitschko, who was a very dominant champion when he was reigning, and before leaving with all these body injuries, you could probably go with him. Well, this is what I'm going to say. If Vitaly Klitschko walks in at 100%, no body injuries, none whatsoever, or gets any body injury during the fight, he can win this bout, okay? Easily, no. But he can win the bout with his aggression and with the will that he brings into the ring. When he can turn it on and knock somebody out, he can do that. That's if he doesn't get hurt, though, walking in or during the bout, okay? Like I said, ring rust and timing is a big factor for Vitaly. So until we see him walking in that first round, then we won't know. Now, Samuel Peters. If Vitaly is hurt, walks in injured, or is able to re-injure an old injury on his body, he could possibly get the win. Now, it's really up to Peters. If he tries to go for a knockout, he can get caught himself and get hurt and blown out. So the smart thing for Peters to do is really try to outbox a much taller, bigger man. And, that's not a big, it's not impossible. That's not a mission impossible. It can happen, okay? But he's going to have to show a little bit more adjustment into this bout facing Vitaly, okay? Which means he's going to have to box, hold, box, hold, box, hold. Really take Vitaly out of his game and stuff. And really, he's going to have to look for Vitaly using his rough tactics towards him, which could help out Vitaly because that could could help out Peters because it can re-injure Vitaly. So anyways, those are my picks. And comment on the show, and remember about liverpuncher.com. If you're able to predict 3 of those bouts, you can get up to a year of Ring Magazine. That's a great deal. So check it out. Scroll down to my friends. He's on there. Hit his site, and then automatically it would say underneath the www.liverpuncher.com, and then you go over there and you log on to that page and check it out. Okay, I'm your host, Dave Duenas, and thanks for joining me for once again another edition of the Will Be Blood Fight Show.
I'm the villain that's creeping around corners. Hey, shorty, you see them niggas creeping around corners? As we coming through, gunning through, running through. So be careful what you do. Them slugs might come to you. As long as I can remember, the streets have kept me safe. Every single time of December, the heat's been in my way. I need the extra set of eyes so I keep